Well, structure-wise, the club is Champions League without a doubt. Fan base, it's got stadium, it's got everything there to be in Champions League football, and that's what everybody wants. Doesn't matter what team you want to look at. The Champions League is where is the top table really. Everybody wants to be in it. One, for finances reasons. Two, for your own personal career, because it puts you on a pedestal that you're playing against the best in Europe. Can they get there? Yeah, they can get there. Yeah, it's coming out that group stage and try to compete with the big teams who I don't think you should get away from it. The English teams have got so much money. France, Spain. You look at Germany, the finances are so much stronger than in the countries what it is in Scotland. So if Celtic can get into the Champions League area and they can get a point away from home, because I think St Park is a really difficult place to win. It doesn't matter who they are, who comes there, because of the crowd. And if they can do that and they get a point away from home, then they've got a chance. I think you'd be naive to say that you never learn from everybody. I think good or bad, you learn from everybody, and you become your own personality and your own man. Where you do look at every manager, you think you give them a great respect because it's a tough gig. Doesn't matter how long you've been in it. Some people only been in it for a short time and then think it's not for me. I'd done it for 20 odd years, and it is really tough because you have to get the best out of people. But the manager, I think he said himself, he managed us. We could all play. We all knew where to go. We didn't know. We didn't have this thing where people say you must go here, you must go there, because we knew we're all international players, so we knew exactly what we were going to do. We needed a manager to manage us, and that's my opinion. That's what he came into his own. He managed us how to get the best out of us, how to say the right things, and that's where, for me, that's where he became top. Without a doubt. I mean, you can never repeat some of the things that went on in that dressing room, or some of the arguments, or some of the things that went on, the celebrations. It was so strong. But every dressing room I've been in, strong dressing room, wins things. And that was an era where we did win things and we became really successful. And people would say we were strong, but with some ability as well. So, and every one of us were. Every one of us were top players. That's that, and I don't say that lightly, but yeah, there's ones that are stronger that could carry other ones, but you've got to look at the whole dressing room saying that they were top players. It's a really difficult question, really difficult. Can he swing a game with a touch of brilliance? He can, because he was that talented. Would it have, it's hypothetical. I think it's a really difficult question, that, because you never know. You can never turn back the clock, but you're talking about ability and making something out of nothing, whether it's a free kick or a set play or a bit of magic, because his 2 feet were brilliant. You could never tell what his strongest foot was, and that's how good he was. I think when you look at him, I mean, his games is really consistent, really consistent. I don't think you ever really see him have a bad game. He's always up that end where he always performs really well. Is he a shouter or that type of leader, or will he point the finger at people in the dressing room? I don't know, because I don't know what the lad's like. But playing wise, he's consistent, and that will give him the instant respect is his consistency. And people might look at that and think, do you know what, he's a captain that way. Might not be a shouter in the dressing room, he'll have you up against the wall sort of thing. Where I've played with captains like that. Everybody's different, but he'll lead by example on the pitch. Well, you won't stop it. If the bigger teams in Germany come for you, more or less likely you're going to go. I was fortunate. I was over watching my old club the other week there, and I met Jude Bellingham for the first time. And for me, he's going to be the best. A couple of years, 2 or 3 years, he'll be the best young midfield player in Europe, without a shadow of a doubt. Absolute. What I think he's going to be top class. The biggest thing I felt about him was he's humble. I think that was a great thing about him. Humble, 18 years old, kid playing in Germany, playing fantastically well. You won't stop it. And if they go, if Borussia Dortmund comes calling, or Bayern Munich come calling, or Leipzig or Leverkusen, it's very difficult for a young player to say that he's not going to go, because you get an opportunity over there. Tommy Burns, who I got on great with, and he obviously sadly passed away, he Celtic lost a really cracking, for me, in my era, probably the greatest Celtic midfielder that's ever played in Paul McStay. I don't think I'll ever be rivalled, Paul McStay, and probably never got the accolades and the credit he deserved, because he stayed at one club for so long. So for me, McStay was the best, without a doubt. Paul was leaving, and then the other guys were leaving, and I thought, well, Tommy asked me would I come, and it was a flat no. I've got to be totally honest. I was so happy in Dortmund. I could have went to any team in Europe after Dortmund. The things were coming in left, right and centre. I was really happy. I didn't need to go anywhere. And Tommy obviously left. And then Wim came, and I turned him down up at Aberdeen. He came into the boot room and asked me would I sign for Celtic. I says no. And that was before a Scotland-Belarus World Cup game. I don't know how he got into the boot room, but he got there anyway and asked would I sign. I says no, because I was going to play a game in an hour's time. And he asked me again, and Andy Ritchie was asking, listen, Vim's really want you to come. And I said, no, Andy, I'm totally fine here. And obviously Tommy was involved with it, and they kept on pushing and pushing, I said, and then one thing led to another, and ended up coming. What Wim Jansen done was nothing short of being a genius, really, when you sit back and analyse it, really. Because in my own opinion, the Rangers 98 era, that kind of era, 97, 98 era, Gaza, Brian Laudrup, McCoy, Gorham, Ian Ferguson, Stuart McCall, that was the strongest Rangers team I've ever come up against. And for what Wim done in that era was just incredible. As I said before, he lost Van Hooijdonk, Cadete, Di Canio, Paul McStay. A lot of lads were leaving, so he had to build a team where it was going to be really quick, and a team that there was no grey area with it. They had to stop the 10 in a row, and that's, I think when you look at that, to stop the 10 in a row with a team that was just newly built, with the team that you're up against, was nothing short of a miracle, really, what he'd done. We never had a big squad, but what we did have was a really close-knit dressing room. I don't think it's psychological. You either handle the pressure or you don't. If you can't handle pressure, don't play with Celtic. That's what I would say. If you're going to crumble under it, forget it. Don't sign for them, because it's too much a demand. If you thrive on it and you think it's great, you'll do great there. But if you actually bottle it, you're in trouble. So I don't think it's a psychological thing. It was just maybe some Celtic guys could handle it, but you can't handle it due to a pandemic. There's no crowd. There's no real pressure other than the pressure you're putting on yourself. And if you can't handle that, then I'm pretty sure you've got a problem. That was massive. I thought the crowd not being there. They need the crowd. They need the crowd behind them. They need the crowd to drive them on. Whether it's you're getting criticised, you need that crowd. And at Celtic Park, when you get 60,000 odd people and they're bang at it, then it's a hell of a place to get a result. But you need that as a player. You need that pressure of it. And I said before that if you can't handle that, forget it. Don't bother signing, because you have to be able to play under it. Martin's team, I asked that question the other week. You can't compare Vim's with Martin's. And the reason you can't compare it, because Vim came in a really tough time. I say the players that left the football club at that time, Martin came in and had a nucleus of still really good players that were at the football club. Stubbs, McNamara, Larson, I think Big Morton was still there, Morton Vicos was there. There were still big players there. Vim inherited a team that was probably wavering all over the place, and Vim had the massive pressure of 10 in a row to stop it. It would have been easy if Vim was going to try and get the 10 in a row, because okay, if we do it, we do it. If we don't, but to lose 10 in a row to your oldest rivals would have been an absolute disaster for Celtic. So the only comparison I can see Vim and Ange is that they came from Japan, they lost the first few games, and they ended up, well, hopefully Celtic end up winning the league, but Vim won it. Martin's time was a little bit different because he did inherit some really good players, albeit again he had to stop Rangers, who had a really good side as well at that time. And Martin's time, the 5 years we had, were really, really strong. It's been massive. As I said before, you asked me the question, it's very similar to Vim's time. But when you're at Celtic, you don't get time really to bed yourself in. The fans look for you to win every single game, and but the biggest compliment what he's done is he's handled the club and the way he's took it on board and how he feels about it. I've met him, I've been up at the training ground, I've met the guy. Celtic have got the right guy in charge without a doubt. His personality, because he doesn't get caught up with the whole euphoria of the madness of the Glasgow thing. He knows how to handle it, and he's basically one game away from doing it where everybody will love him. It was an incredible era that, and we had an incredible dressing room. We needed a manager like Martin O'Neill to come in after what happened the year previous. The gaffer, I think, is quick with his tongue, really funny guy when you get him going. And him and Sutty will have, as I said before, have a good bit of banter. Jackie, I always thought was a quiet assassin. He would throw bombs and then walk away from it. And Moravcik came unassuming, and everybody thought, 33 years old, what's this guy going to do? He's probably one of the most two-footed footballers I've ever seen. Haven't seen a lot of the lads for a long time, as you said there, but we'll have a right good laugh, we'll have a good fun with it, and it might be the first time somebody's maybe answer the gaffer back. Cause I'll tell you what, none of us ever did when he was manager. Yeah, at the Armadillo on the 29th of May, Martin O'Neill, Moravcik, McNamara, Sutton, myself. As I said before, it'll be the first time I think we can really batter each other with some of the things that went on in that dressing room. But we had a brilliant time. Will we answer the manager back? I don't know. I think some of us are still a little bit wary of him. So, but that's great respect on his part. You know what I mean? I think I'm pretty sure most would still call him Gaffer. That's how much of the respect we have. Sutty. What you see is what you get. It's on the tin. Moravcik's got that little bit of cheekiness in it. As I said, McNamara was the biggest assassin ever. I get changed beside him and Simon Donnelly. It was an absolute nightmare between the two of them. It was horrendous changing between the two. So, but I'll get my own back. That's for sure when it comes on the 29th.